and welcome to this video comparing the flagships of the Jaguar and BMW brands, the XJ and the BMW 7 Series. I'm Ian Balfour, Jaguar trainer, and I'm excited about showing you how you can demonstrate Jaguar's advantage to your customers who are shopping the competition. And, as you know, BMW is quite a competitor. As a matter of fact, it takes close to a quarter of this market segment. It does that partially by providing a variety of price points with different engines and wheelbases. 740 with an inline 6 in regular and extended wheelbase. 750 with a V8 also in regular and extended wheelbase. And 760 with the V12 only in extended wheelbase. Extended wheelbase models like Jaguar have an L in the name. For instance, 740 Li if this were the long wheelbase version. All of these engines have what BMW calls twin power turbos with available horsepower from 315 to 535. An all-wheel drive system called xDrive is available on the 740 Li, 750i, and 750 Li. The 7 Series also offers a hybrid model and the high-performance Alpina B7. Another reason for its popularity can be summed up with a look at the grille. That famous twin kidney shape. For 2013, it has 9 slats instead of 12 and is slightly more upright. Also, the lower air intakes and fog lights have been reworked. Xenon headlights are standard, with LED headlights available. Also for 2013, added is a sharp design crease that goes from the headlights all the way back to the taillights. And for 2013, the back end has been refreshed also. Overall styling is, well, Auto-by-Tel calls it solid and menacing, yet subtle. However, because it's based on the same platform as the 5 Series, the two can be very difficult to tell apart. On the Jaguar side, the big news for 2013 is that we now offer the entry-level price points and powertrains comparable to BMW. We've added the supercharged V6 to our powerful V8 lineup. Our horsepower offerings now start at 340, more than the BMW, and go all the way to 510. All models are available in standard or extended wheelbase, except the Elegant Ultimate, which is the longer version only. And all-wheel drive is now available on the V6 XJ and XJL. And we have our own design hits that are far from what you'd call subtle, maybe more like daring, sleek, and sophisticated. Motor Trend said, Ian Callum's reinterpretation of the big cat is flat out gorgeous, and the XJ is one of the best looking big cars ever made. And the Wall Street Journal said, what a fantastic looking automobile. On any aesthetic scale you'd care to calibrate. Modernity, chic, formal grace, raw carnality. This thing simply obliterates the competition. Xenon headlights with LED signature are standard, and LED tail lamps in the rear are standard. But here's something more that XJ offers. Extraordinary tires and wheels that fill the wheel wells for an excellent design touch. The wheels and tires start at 19 inches with 20-inch available. On BMW, the smaller 18-inch wheel is standard with 19s available. And by the way, for BMW, run-flat tires are standard. No spare tire is available. XJ has a standard panoramic glass roof, not available on BMW. And the trunk is powered for easy closing. That's optional on a package in the 740. And on standard wheelbase models, our trunk is larger than the BMW's by 1.2 cubic feet, enough for an extra grocery bag. Now let's get down to details. Let's take the new XJ 3-liter supercharged V6 and match it up against the BMW 740i. First, we'll talk about luxury and convenience features. Then we'll hand it over to a professional driver who will take each car through its performance paces. At all times, we'll try to give you insight, awareness, and even word tracks to use with your competitive shopping customers. Well, here we are in the BMW 740i. Notice the door pull isn't where you expected. It's this slit at the top of the door panel. Unusual to say the least. If your customer is going to talk about luxury and convenience in the BMW 740, I'm going to bring up two important areas to begin with: seating and iDrive. Here's what Motor Trend had to say about seating in the BMW. The seats are not nearly as supportive as they need to be. Sadly, you're sliding all over the place, or at least your rear end is, because there is plenty of back bolstering. I didn't find the seats particularly luxurious either. They're just sort of seats. Add heated rear seats to the concern. I can tell you they are a necessity up north. And even down south where we are now, it's a great feature for an aching back. Heated rear seats, available on BMW 740, only as part of a package. And then there's the renowned iDrive with this controller. Granted, they've made improvements over the years. This is the 4th generation. But still, it just might be more difficult to get up to speed. It can be rotated, pushed, tilted, to operate various functions shown here on the display screen. Here's a couple of things we discovered about the BMW system. 1, when operating the nav by voice control, you can't find a point of interest, a significant inconvenience. And 2, if you pair two Bluetooth phones and want to use yours for phone and your passenger's for music, you just can't do it on the BMW. Both of those things, easy to do on the XJ. Beyond those items, the BMW is pretty nice. 10-way power seats with memory are standard, but only settings for 2. There's wood trim and ambient lighting. A 10-speaker audio system includes HD radio and satellite radio, and Bluetooth is included. Valet mode is kind of complicated. You need to lock the trunk here, then with your emergency key, lock the console, then use the same emergency key to lock the glove box. And cruise control requires you to push this button to turn it on, but then push this rocker switch to set your speed. A 2-step process. Now let's move to XJ. Oh yeah, if the door is locked, you have to pull the handle twice to get out. I'm not sure if I'd ever get used to that if I had more than one car. Well, here we are inside XJ, and I have to quote Automobile Magazine on this one. Allow me one more love letter to the big flat panels of burled walnut on the interior of the doors, and the way the driver's door panel is perfectly designed, with the door opener and the grab handle positioned exactly where you want them, unlike the BMW 7 Series, which has an odd slit at the top of its door panel, a dash that is exquisitely finished in a dramatic band of wood. The way that this lower dash creates a feeling of spaciousness and airiness. No one else does an interior anything like this. What a great quote. But here's the icing on the cake. A couple of things that will be sure to surprise and delight your BMW shopper. First, the handshake the XJ gives when you start the car. Of course, the gear shift rises to meet your hand, and the touchscreen welcomes you in, starting with the leaper. We're used to the rising gear shift, but it can be impressive to the new customer and is not available in any competitive car. Second, ask your customer, have you ever needed to read a phone number or address you wrote down, but couldn't see it in the dark, but in the dark you couldn't find the light switch? Well, we've solved that problem in the XJ. You can just reach to where the lights are, and they will turn on automatically. A simple and exclusive gesture in the XJ, and for the driver, resolution of a potential safety issue. XJ uses an 8-inch touchscreen to control audio, climate control, telephone, and navigation. It's easy to use and very intuitive. You can pair up to 10 Bluetooth phones and simultaneously connect 2, one for phone, the other for music. You can easily put the XJ into valet mode through the touchscreen, and in addition to the glove box and trunk, The audio system is blocked, unlike on the BMW. The XJ exudes luxury and convenience inside. You can see it everywhere in the leather and wood, in the look and the feel. Feel the standard soft grain leather. That high quality leather is an option on the 740. The instrument panel also is covered in leather, not even available on 740i, only an option on higher level models. The front seats have standard 12-way power and standard 3-position memory and heat. Standard heat, by the way, in front and back. Ambient lighting leaves a white and phosphor blue halo in the car. Blind spot monitor is standard on XJ also. It's only available on 740i as part of an optional package. The standard radio is a 14-speaker Meridian premium sound system. Both HD radio and satellite radio also standard, along with the Bluetooth wireless technology. While we're here inside, let's take a look at the cruise control. One touch and it's set. On BMW, you have to turn it on first, then set the miles per hour. Twice the effort. Again, this is a small detail, but shows our customer our commitment to them. Steering wheel is heated, and that's standard, and it has paddle shift. They're standard on every XJ, but only available as an option on BMW after you purchase the expensive M Sport package. Let's take a look how the XJ does from a performance perspective. Here's Hugh Golden, a professional driver for over 15 years.
In the 0 to 60 run, the XJ was quicker. It's got a little more horsepower and torque, so we expected that, but it's always good to see the XJ beat the BMW. Both cars broke very well, but with 440 pounds less weight in the XJ, the car just felt much more in control with less nosedive, and I felt very nimble still behind the wheel that I could have taken an evasive maneuver to keep my family safe if that ever happened out on the real world driving.
I'm now going to drive the BMW 740i through our slalom course. The car weighs 4,310 pounds, and while the weight is distributed 50-50 front to back, let's see how the car performs in our slalom course. It's a big car, so there's quite a bit movement in the chassis, and as I come to the end of our slalom, I get a maximum of 35 miles an hour through our slalom. Next, I'm going to drive the Jaguar V6 supercharged model through our slalom course and see how it compares to the BMW 740i. The big cat weighs 3,869 pounds, which to me is an astounding 441 pounds lighter than the BMW. And as I drive the Jaguar through the slalom, it's much more nimble, 40 miles an hour at the end.
In the slalom, the XJ with 441 pounds less weight, again, performed extremely well because in the slalom you get what we call a pendulum effect, and that 441 pounds gets magnified, but the XJ it was so nimble through that slalom, it made it a really fun experience. In such a big car, I was astounded by how much fun I had in that slalom.
I'm now going to drive the BMW 740i on our autocross. 740i is a inline 6-cylinder twin-scroll turbo engine, 315 horsepower, 301 foot-pounds of torque. Let's see how the engine performs out of a very tight 180-degree corner. It does well, actually, 301 foot-pounds of torque. That's the speed element you want to be aware of. So as I come into this next corner, this is replicating a country road where a big sedan owner is having a little bit of a sporty drive in their sedan. The BMW stays fairly neutral through that corner. As I come into our hard braking zone, I'm hard on the brakes, quite a bit of nosedive in the car, but it's braking steadily. I turn in through this next tight chicane section, and that brings me out onto our long right-hand sweeper, which is replicating a freeway ramp, and the car actually starts washing out, so I have to lift off throttle. I regain its composure and drive out onto the front straight. At the end of the front straight, I'm hard on the brakes at 82 miles an hour, 4,310 pounds. Let's see how that handles through this corner. It's a 50-50 weight split, and it does fairly well. Overall, not bad in the BMW 740i. I'm now going to drive the Jaguar XJ V6 supercharged model on the same autocross that I just drove the BMW 740i. Let's see how the big cat stacks up against that big 7 Series sedan. First corner, hard brake, less nosedive in the Jaguar. As I come through the corner, 340 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque. Torque is what gets you going, horsepower keeps you going. You can really feel the Jaguar come out of that corner with authority. As I turn through this double corner, it's like driving on a country lane, very stable in this Jaguar. It's very stable under all attributes. So as I'm hard braking again, less nosedive. Into our tight chicane here, the car feels more nimble, and as I come out, I really feel 3,869 pounds, 441 pounds less than the BMW, allows me to get to throttle much sooner. As a result, I'm rocketing out of this corner onto our straightaway. Let's see how I do for speed. I'm at 87 miles an hour as I come into this last corner. The car's still very stable. You can hear it working and clawing. And quite frankly, the BMW was good, but the big cat, it's better on this course.
I took away some surprise that these big sedans handled as well as they did on our dynamic test track, but I was really pleased to see that the Jaguar was even again more nimble than the BMW through the entire track. And on a test drive, you could really get somebody to appreciate how sporty the Jaguar XJ drives and how nimble that car is, and just the fun factor behind this car, because many people think these are stoic big sedans, and they are actually great sedans with fantastic room in them. But the tossability of the XJ was really what I thought was the most astounding. And again, I attribute that to 441 pounds less than that BMW. That just made this car perform better than the BMW almost everywhere.
That reminds me of a quote from Automobile Magazine. BMW has the reputation of being the ultimate driver's brand, but dynamically speaking, Jag has the Bavarians in its rear-view mirror. As I cover the country, visiting sales consultants and talking to customers, I'm always looking for what customers are looking for and what they're saying. Seems like the most common comment that you get on BMW is that their prices are better than ours. The best response? Well, one comes right from Jaguar. We no longer need to compare to their 6-cylinder with our V8 in the XJ. But it's more than that. It can be summed up in one word: value. I think we've shown that the XJ V6 is better than or comparable to the BMW 740i when it comes to performance. Get your customers on the road so that they can experience the exhilaration of driving the XJ. When it comes to luxury and convenience, the XJ excels. Heated rear seats, heated steering wheel, leather instrument panel, larger wheels and tires, blind spot monitor, power trunk, and steering wheel shift paddles are all standard on XJ and optional on BMW. These are features that luxury car buyers expect, and BMW doesn't even offer the convenience of touchscreen controls, proximity light sensors, and the open-air feeling of the panoramic glass roof. But what's the best way for customers to see the light when it comes to Jaguar? Of course, it's to get them in the XJ to experience firsthand the luxury, convenience, and performance of this superior luxury car.